we're talking about qualifications, right? And like how you're qualifying the candidates. I think as you become more senior in these roles, like you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for a job that is
Yep.
really meaningful to you. And I think it's
Yep.
important to qualify the employer as well with
Yep.
questions and things along those lines. How do you do that effectively? And what are some, you'd mentioned like a red flag is like maybe they're not grilling me enough. This is a
Yeah.
cakewalk. That could mean that they're like the work is not going to be meaningful because they can't ask like intelligent questions about
Right.
how I would be a fit for it. What are some ways that me going in as a like maybe a senior data scientist, I can say, okay, I think this would be a good fit for me. They have certain criteria. Like, what should I ask? How should I approach that conversation?
Yeah. So I often find that the best opportunities at companies that are growing fast. Now, of course, it depends on if you're prioritizing work-life balance, but I'm a Silicon Valley mindset, and I'm interested in startups and working at these top tech companies. So usually growth, if a company is growing fast, that means there's a lot of opportunities. And I feel like work environment wise, it stops being zero sum. If there's more work to be done, people are less territorial, there's less politics, just do more work and people don't fight. I feel like a lot of the fighting happens when there's not enough work to go around, and then people are fighting for credit, and there's not, people are worried about layoffs and they're trying to compete with their coworkers, versus a startup is just like, do whatever you want. Like, we have too much work, so whoever is good, do more work, and you'll be promoted and recognized for it faster, because anyways we're hiring so much. So I think for senior data scientists, where they can align themselves with a culture of high growth, it's always good. And actually, honestly, that's for basically any candidate. I would always tell people to optimize for growth rate and like try to assess that. So it's a little bit biased, right? Because I mean, I know I took the question in my own way of like, how do you look for companies that are growing fast? Because you asked like, how do you just make sure it's a good fit? I think that's too general, because, maybe someone's looking for a work-life balance. Maybe it's good that they didn't grill me, maybe it's good it was really chill and really casual. And they're like, oh, when can you start? Come on through. It's really fun. Maybe if that's what you're looking for, maybe it isn't a red flag. But for me, looking for like an intense role generally that where I can learn a lot, what I find to be good is to talk to the people in the interviews and get a sense of what are they working on actually. So usually it's like, hey, tell me about like what challenge you're facing right now, usually in the ask me a question part. And then I also try to understand the leadership and their mindset well. So where I can, I try to say like, hey, you like me, can I talk to not you, but your boss or your boss's boss? And usually if you're a good candidate, you can like go up a level or two and have them try to close you and try to understand from their perspective, what does the work you're doing or the team you're going to be joining fit into the larger organization or branch or the whole company's objectives, and that can give you a good sense of like, yo, is this work going to be meaningful, or is this some random work that's going to get canned, and this is some random like R&D project that's probably not going anywhere. You can get a sense of that when you jump up a level or two. And usually you just have to ask for it. They're not going to get like a VP maybe talk to you if you're just joining as an entry level role, but if you ask for it, they will make it happen, especially if you're a good candidate. So just talking to folks has been a really good thing. And then just seeing like their like seeing the rate of employees joining on LinkedIn, and seeing like, if there's only 50 people, see when were they hired. Is this company hiring fast? Are they growing, or have most people been there for a while? And then same way, see their ex-employees. Did people just stay for a year and dip? Have a lot of employees dip recently? Or is generally people are with the firm and they're hiring fast? That tells me the company is growing well. And it also tells me like, hey, probably my career will grow well too here.